Chosen one, listen carefully, this message you about to hear. The moment you felt different. You have felt it for as long as you can remember. That quiet sense of being out of place in a loud world. Not better than others, just different in a way you could never fully explain. While others chased noise, you searched for meaning, even when you had no words for it. This difference was never random. It showed up in your childhood questions, in your deep emotions, in your refusal to fully fit in. You felt things more intensely. You noticed truths others ignored. And for a long time, you thought something was wrong with you. But the truth is, something was activating within you. Why your life never felt easy. Your path was never meant to be smooth. Confusion followed you, even when you tried to do everything right. Delays, setbacks, and inner battles shaped your journey. Not to break you, but to refine you. Chosen ones are not spared difficulty. They are shaped by it. Pressure builds perception. Pain sharpens awareness. Every challenge forced you inward. And every time you rose with more wisdom than before. The awakening you couldn't ignore. At some point, something shifted. You began questioning beliefs you once accepted without thought. Old identities started falling away. Things that once excited you no longer did. This awakening was uncomfortable, lonely, disorienting, but it was necessary. You were not losing yourself. You were remembering who you truly are. The signs that set you apart. You sense energy before words are spoken. You feel truth in your body, not just your mind. Crowds drain you, solitude restores you. You crave depth over surface-level connection. You've been misunderstood more than you've been celebrated. People project onto you because your presence exposes what they avoid within themselves. You don't seek control, yet influence follows you naturally. Not through force, but through authenticity. These are not coincidences. They are indicators of awareness. Why society, RESISTS people like you. Awakened individuals disrupt unconscious systems. Not by rebellion, but by clarity. Your questions threaten comfort zones. Your refusal to conform challenges illusions. So you were labeled sensitive, strange, or unrealistic. Not because you were wrong, but because you were early. And truth is often rejected before it is understood. You were never meant to be approved by the masses. You were meant to see beyond them. The real meaning of power. Power is not dominance. It is alignment. It is knowing yourself so deeply that fear loses its grip. It is choosing integrity when shortcuts are available. Your strength is quiet, steady, unshaken by chaos, rooted in awareness, not ego. This is why you've survived what should have destroyed you. Not because you are invincible, but because you are conscious, stepping fully into your path. There is no need to rush. Awakening unfolds in layers. Your responsibility is not to convince others. It is to remain honest with yourself. Trust the pace of your growth. Honor your intuition. Protect your inner clarity. And continue choosing truth over comfort. Your journey is not about titles or labels. It is about responsibility. The call you've been feeling. If these words resonate, it's because you were ready to hear them. Not chosen above others, but chosen to see deeper, to live consciously, and to walk a path that demands courage. If this message spoke to you, engage with it. Like this video so it reaches those who need it. Comment what resonated with you most. And subscribe to Return to Awakening to continue this journey of awareness together. When everything falls silent around you. There were seasons when your life went quiet. Friends faded. Opportunities paused. Even your own voice felt distant. This silence was not punishment. It was recalibration. Noise had to be removed so truth could be heard. Isolation became the classroom where awareness deepened. You learned to sit with yourself, to face thoughts you once avoided. And in that stillness, strength formed quietly. Why you follow the crowd? You tried to fit in. You studied how others lived, spoke, and believed. But something inside you resisted imitation. Your soul rejected borrowed identities. You were never designed to copy paths. You were meant to walk one that didn't exist yet. That resistance you felt was inner guidance, a refusal to abandon your authentic frequency. Even when conformity promised comfort, your spirit chose truth. The burden of seeing too much. Awareness is not always peaceful. You notice patterns others ignore. You sense intentions beneath words. You recognize cycles before they repeat. This insight can feel heavy. It creates responsibility. You cannot unsee what you now understand. And ignorance no longer feels safe. This is why your growth required maturity before recognition. Why your heart had to break first. Disappointment carved depth into you. Loss softened your ego and sharpened your empathy. Betrayal taught discernment. Failure dismantled false confidence. Each heartbreak stripped illusions. Not to make you bitter, but to make you real. Grounded. Only a refined heart can carry awareness without corruption. The internal battle no one saw. Your greatest struggles were never external. They were internal wars. Doubt against intuition. Fear against truth. You questioned your sanity at times. Wondered why clarity felt isolating. Why growth required letting go. Why comfort and truth rarely coexist. But every internal victory strengthened your alignment. Why you were forced to let go of certainty. Certainty can become a prison. So your life removed it. Beliefs collapsed. Plans changed. You were pushed into trust rather than control. Into faith rather than prediction. Into presence rather than expectation. This flexibility became your strength. The difference between ego and awareness. Ego seeks validation. Awareness seeks truth. Ego needs recognition. Awareness remains steady without applause. You learned this distinction through experience. By watching how power can corrupt when unchecked. By choosing humility over dominance. By valuing sincerity over status. This choice protected your path. Why your journey feels unfinished. You sense there is more. Not ambition. Alignment. A deeper unfolding. This feeling does not mean dissatisfaction. It means expansion is still occurring. Growth has no final form. Only deeper clarity. You are not behind. You are becoming, the weight of walking alone. There were moments you wished someone truly understood you. Not just your words, but your inner world. You carried thoughts too deep for casual conversation. So you learned restraint. Loneliness wasn't always about being alone. It was about being unseen. Yet this solitude trained you to become your own anchor. To trust your inner compass when no one else could guide you. Why people project onto you. Your presence triggers reflection. Without intention, you mirror what others avoid within themselves. This is why reactions to you are often intense. Admiration or resistance, rarely neutrality. Projection is not about you. It is about what your clarity reveals. You became a symbol of truth others were not ready to face. And symbols are often misunderstood. The patience you were forced to learn. Things never happened when you wanted them to. Timing challenged your expectations. Waiting tested your faith. Delays refined your discipline. You learned that preparation matters more than speed, that alignment cannot be rushed, that what arrives too early can be misused. So you waited and you grew. The quiet strength you developed. You stopped needing to prove yourself. You let actions speak without announcement. You chose depth over display, substance over noise. This quiet strength unsettles loud egos. Because it cannot be manipulated. It does not compete. It remains grounded. Why you see through illusions. You recognize false confidence, empty promises, surface-level wisdom, spiritual performance without inner work. Your discernment is sharp because it was earned. Through mistakes, through humility, through lived experience, truth became something you embodied, not something you repeated. The cost of OUTGROWNG, old IDNTITES. Versions of you had to die. Not dramatically, silently, naturally. Habits lost meaning. Old desires dissolved. Relationships faded without conflict. This wasn't loss. It was evolution. Why you can no longer go back. Once awareness expands, return becomes impossible. You can visit old spaces, but you cannot live there. Your perception has shifted permanently. This is why pretending feels exhausting. Why masks no longer fit. Why authenticity became non-negotiable. You crossed an inner threshold. The responsibility that comes with clarity. Awareness demands integrity. You cannot betray what you now know. Your choices carry weight. Your words carry influence. This responsibility is not about control. It is about example. About walking truth, not preaching it. And that is where your real impact begins, when you stopped seeking external approval. There was a moment you realized approval was a trap. That chasing acceptance diluted your truth. So you released the need to be understood by everyone. And in doing so, you found peace. You learned that alignment feels quieter than validation, but far more stable. You no longer adjust your frequency to fit rooms. You allow rooms to respond to your authenticity. The way life tested your integrity. Opportunities appeared with hidden costs. Shortcuts tempted your values. Compromises disguised themselves as practicality. But something in you refused. Integrity became your filter. If it required self-betrayal, you walked away. Even when it meant loss. Even when no one applauded. This is why your foundation is unshakable. Why you attract both GUIDES and CHLLNGS. People enter your life with purpose. Some to remind you of who you are. Others to test how well you've integrated the lesson. Both are necessary. You stopped labeling experiences as good or bad. You began reading them as instructions. Every interaction revealing where growth was complete and where refinement was still required. The moment fear lost its authority. Fear once guided your decisions. Quietly, subtly, disguised as logic. But awareness exposed it. You saw how fear shrinks possibility, how it keeps truth hidden. So you stopped obeying it. Courage became your default. Why your energy feels different now. Your presence is calmer, more grounded, less reactive, more intentional. You no longer rush to explain yourself. You listen more than you speak. And when you speak, words carry weight. This is not detachment. It is mastery of self. The inner authority you claimed. You stopped outsourcing decisions. Stopped waiting for permission. Stopped doubting your inner knowing. This inner authority was not claimed overnight. It was built through consistency, through honesty, through self-trust. Now your direction comes from within. Why you feel called to something greater. Not fame, not validation, impact, contribution. You feel pulled toward meaning, toward work that aligns with values, toward service rooted in awareness. This calling is subtle but persistent, and it will not be silenced. The SESONS you outgrew without notice. There were chapters of your life that ended quietly. No dramatic goodbye. No clear explanation. Just a natural closing. You didn't force these endings. You simply stopped resonating with them. What once felt aligned began to feel heavy. And so you moved forward without resentment. Growth doesn't always announce itself. Why comfort began to feel dangerous. You noticed that stagnation hid inside comfort. That ease without purpose led to dullness. So rest became intentional, not escapism. And discipline became self-respect. You learned to question ease. Not reject it, but understand it. Comfort was no longer your goal. Alignment was. The discernment that keeps you grounded. You don't absorb every idea you hear. You observe. You test. You reflect. Discernment protects clarity. It keeps wisdom from turning into arrogance. It allows growth without losing balance. And it keeps your path honest. This is why confusion no longer controls you. Why you no longer argue your truth. You once tried to explain yourself. To convince. To justify. To be understood. Now you let reality speak. You let consistency answer questions. You let silence expose what words cannot. Truth doesn't need defense. The strength you built in uncertainty. Not knowing used to terrify you. Now it sharpens presence. You learn to move without guarantees. To trust without proof. Uncertainty became a training ground. It taught flexibility. It taught resilience. It taught faith in action, not theory. Why your path feels narrow. Options reduced as clarity increased. What once felt open now feels specific. This is not limitation. It is focus. A narrow path requires commitment. And commitment reveals character. This is where distraction falls away. The peace that does not depend on outcomes. You found calm beyond results. Beyond timelines. Beyond recognition. This peace is not passive. It is grounded confidence. The kind that remains steady. Even when outcomes are unknown. This is inner stability. When you realized you couldn't save everyone. There was a painful awakening in understanding limits. You saw suffering and wanted to fix it. To lift others into awareness. But resistance taught you restraint. You learned that growth cannot be forced. That timing is personal. That example speaks louder than rescue. So you step back without closing your heart. Why you guard your energy now. You became selective. Not out of arrogance. Out of wisdom. You noticed how certain environments drained clarity. Boundaries became essential. Not walls but filters. They protect presence. They preserve purpose. This is not selfishness. It is sustainability. The difference between compassion and attachment. You learn to care without clinging. To support without losing yourself. To empathize without absorbing pain. This balance took time. And mistakes. And emotional exhaustion. But it refined your emotional intelligence. Now your compassion is clean. Why you feel called to lead without dominating. Leadership revealed itself quietly. Through consistency. Through integrity. Through example. You never needed to announce authority. People sensed it. They listened without being told to. This is influence rooted in trust, the inner stillness you can return to. Chaos no longer defines you. You have an internal refuge, a place of clarity you can access, even when circumstances shake. This stillness was earned through presence, through patience, through self-honesty. It is now part of you. Why your journey continues to unfold. Awareness is not an endpoint. It is a relationship, one that deepens with attention and expands with responsibility. You remain open, curious, grounded, knowing there is always more to integrate, the signs you can no longer ignore. You feel energy shifts before they happen. You notice patterns others dismiss. Synchronicities show up like messages written just for you. And dreams carry guidance you cannot ignore. These are not coincidences. They are signals from your higher self. Your intuition is alive, vivid, and precise. It points to your next step, even when logic cannot see it. Why you sometimes feel misunderstood. Your awareness makes ordinary interactions strange. People react not to you, but to the clarity you bring. You are a mirror they were not ready to see. This often isolates you. But being misunderstood is a sign you are awake. It confirms your perspective has shifted, and that your purpose is bigger than immediate comfort. The magnetism of your presence. Even in silence, people notice you. They feel your energy before your words. They are drawn to authenticity. They respect integrity unconsciously. Your influence is quiet but undeniable. You impact without demanding attention. This is a mark of a true chosen one. Why your intuition cannot be ignored. Gut feelings have guided you more accurately than advice ever could. Subtle nudges, whispers of insight, they are your compass. Logic may question, society may doubt. But truth resonates with certainty. Ignoring it brings discomfort. Listening to it brings alignment. And alignment amplifies your power. The moment you accept your power, power is not something you take, it is something you embody. You stop doubting your capacity to influence, heal, and create. You embrace the responsibility that comes with vision. And fear loses its authority over your decisions. This acceptance is transformative. It changes how you move, how you speak, how you respond. And it solidifies the path of a chosen one. The signs of a spiritual awakening. You feel more deeply than ever before. Your senses are heightened. You experience moments of clarity that feel like revelations. You notice patterns in truth invisible to most. You attract mentors, teachers, and experiences aligned with your growth. You are guided in ways that cannot be explained casually. The universe conspires subtly, yet unmistakably in your favor. Why you were never meant to blend in. Your existence challenges complacency. Your presence awakens awareness. You are a catalyst for those ready to evolve. And that is why normalcy has never fit. You were designed to stand out, to break cycles, to inspire awakening in subtle, profound ways. The resilience that sets you apart. Life tested you beyond the ordinary. Challenges struck harder because you are meant for more. Yet every time you rose, you did so stronger, wiser, and more aligned. Resilience became your second nature. It is proof that you are not ordinary, that you are capable of carrying more than most can imagine, and that your purpose is anchored in growth, not comfort, the way truth feels in your body. When something is real, you don't just think it. You feel it settle in your chest. A calm certainty replaces overthinking. Your body responds before your mind agrees. This embodied knowing became your compass. It guided you away from harm. It pulled you toward alignment. and it never demanded proof. Why time feels different to you now. Moments stretch when awareness is present. You notice how rushed living dulls perception. So you slow down, not out of laziness but precision. Being present sharpened your insight. You stopped living ahead of yourself. You learned to meet each moment fully. And depth replaced urgency. The humility that keeps you clear. Awareness did not inflate your ego. It softened it. You know how much there is to learn, and how little you truly control. This humility protects you. It keeps growth clean. It keeps power from turning rigid. And it keeps your heart open. Why you don't need to announce your evolution. Growth is visible without declaration. Your choices reveal it. Your calm reveals it. Your boundaries reveal it. You don't seek witnesses. You trust the process. Those meant to recognize you will. And those who don't are not behind, just elsewhere. The discipline that built your confidence. Confidence did not come from praise. It came from keeping promises to yourself. From showing up when no one was watching. From consistency in private. Discipline became devotion. To truth. To alignment. To becoming rather than appearing. Why your QSTONS never stopped. You were never satisfied with surface answers. You kept asking why. Even when it made others uncomfortable. Even when it complicated your life. These questions dismantled illusions. They freed you from borrowed beliefs. And they shaped a mind that sees clearly. The subtle joy of being aligned. Joy no longer depends on excitement. It lives in coherence. In knowing your actions match your values. In peace that does not fluctuate wildly. This joy is quiet. But it is deep. And it sustains you, the way you feel others' energy. Crowds overwhelm you in ways most cannot explain. You sense intentions before words are spoken. Emotions ripple through you like invisible currents. And it can be exhausting, yet revealing. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is a tool of perception. It shows who aligns with your frequency. And who carries shadows meant for reflection. Why certain RLATONSHPS fade away. Connections that once felt vital suddenly feel heavy. People drift because your vibration changed. Not because of malice, but because you outgrew static energy. This is natural for a chosen one. Your inner world shapes your outer reality. Only those aligned with your growth can remain. And this is how destiny prunes the path. The power of silence in your life. You stopped filling every space with noise. Your words became intentional. Your presence became felt even without speaking. Silence sharpened your awareness. In this quiet, guidance speaks. Truth emerges without distraction. And your soul strengthens in stillness. Why you experience intense introspection. Your mind often drifts inward, analyzing patterns and meaning. Moments of reflection feel sacred, almost otherworldly. You dissect experiences, seeking lessons unseen by others. And this deep introspection fuels growth. It can feel isolating, but it is a sign of awakening. The chosen ones must understand themselves before they impact the world. The moments of unmistakable synchronicity. Events align with uncanny precision. People appear exactly when needed. Doors open that should have remained closed. Signs whisper guidance repeatedly until you cannot ignore them. These are markers of your path. The universe conspires subtly to validate your awareness. It is not coincidence. It is confirmation you are on the right track. Why you are drawn to depth over small talk. Surface conversation leaves you restless. You crave meaning, truth, and insight. Connections without depth feel hollow. You seek souls that resonate, not numbers that impress. This preference is part of being chosen. You are designed to interact with substance, and the world's superficiality cannot contain you. The quiet certainty of your path. You no longer doubt your direction, even when others question it. Your steps feel guided. Your decisions feel aligned. Your purpose whispers clearly in moments of stillness. The more you trust this inner guidance, the more unstoppable you become. The way you notice hidden truths. You see beyond appearances. Motives, patterns, and unseen dynamics reveal themselves to you naturally. Where others accept surface explanations, you probe deeper. Your mind recognizes what many cannot even articulate. This perception is a hallmark of a chosen one. It allows you to navigate life with foresight, to avoid traps, to align with opportunities invisible to the unawakened. Why you sometimes feel unsettled in crowds. People's energy affects you more than you used to allow. Overstimulation brings fatigue, restlessness, and unease. Yet it also reminds you who resonates with your frequency and who does not. You are learning to filter energy consciously, to protect your alignment, and to move among the world without losing your center. The intense pull toward purpose. There is a call that cannot be ignored, a sense that you are meant for something greater than comfort or convenience. It tugs at your heart when you least expect it, and it will not let you rest until you act. This calling is personal, unique, and undeniable. It is the signature of one destined to awaken others and transform environments. Why your dreams hold meaning. They are not random. They often replay lessons, warnings, or insights. Symbols appear repeatedly until their significance resonates within you. They prepare you, guide you, and illuminate hidden truths. The chosen ones notice these patterns. They take them seriously. They integrate their meaning into conscious action. The MOMENTS when intuition BCOMES unmistakable. A subtle nudge in the right direction. A gut feeling that proves accurate again and again. A sense that a path is correct without external confirmation. These moments build trust in yourself. They are evidence of alignment between your mind, body, and spirit. The more you listen, the more powerful your decisions become. Why your presence changes SPACES. You enter a room and energy shifts. People unconsciously respond to your clarity. Some feel inspired, others defensive. Either way, your authenticity cannot be ignored. This is not arrogance. It is a natural byproduct of embodying awareness. The chosen one cannot hide their truth forever. The unmistakable sense of being called. There is a certainty that life is not random for you. That every experience, every encounter, every challenge was designed to shape you. You feel a deeper rhythm behind events that others miss. A pattern of guidance leading toward fulfillment. This is why doubt can never fully settle in your heart. You recognize the signs. You embody the evidence. And your path becomes inevitable. If this message reached you, it is because something within you is already awake. Do not shrink back into comfort. Do not silence what you now recognize as truth. Stand firm in your awareness. Honor the path that shaped you. Walk forward with discipline, humility, and courage. If you felt seen, understood, or activated by these words, take action now. Like this video, so this message reaches others who are awakening. Comment to affirm your awareness and connect with those walking a similar path. And subscribe to Return to Awakening so you remain aligned with truth, clarity, and conscious growth as this journey continues.